Hey guys, it's Cal and Sean from Team ChainBlock, and we're back with another deck profile, and I am deciding to redo and kind of visit back to my all reliable Voiceless voice. Now, I took this to locals a few times before the list dropped, but since the list dropped, I have a new build for it. Before we get into it, make sure you check out Kong's Cards, proud sponsor of the channel of a few years now. And use discount code ChainBlock5 for 5% all your YuGiOh singles and sealed. You're not supposed to know that. What's the next set coming out now, Sean?
Alliance Insight is coming up on the horizon, but right now we've just gotten Stampede in. That's a big one.
That is a big one.
If you're picking up your QCRs, make sure to use the promo code, save yourself a bit of money.
Yes. So getting right into the profile. It's changed up a little bit from my previous build, and I'll kind of get to that when I get to it. But it's pretty standard with the Voiceless package. I played the 3 low, I played the 2 Skull Guardian, and I opted to play the 2 Soravis.
Love this card.
Now, going into this format, I kind of did realize while playing it that the second Soravis probably doesn't come up as much as the Pengraph did. Because as much as I said the Pengraph was for Tempi, the Spell Negate actually did help and matter a lot, and I realized that now after playing with this deck for a little bit before the list had dropped.
It is worth mentioning that Soravis is really good not only as a summon, but as a hand trap to protect the summon of your Diviner or your Woe before you get the combo going. It prevents targeting, so you can counter the Veiler or the Imperm with that.
Yeah, that's something that comes up more than you would think as well. But then to complement that, we play 2 copies of Saphira. I went down from 3 to 2 on this because I decided to play the Old Man again. And the only reason I play the Old Man again is because in this dynamic format now, I think with not as powerful as Snake Eye format, I think having the second Soravis or the Pengraph, whatever you opt to play, up with a Soravis and a Skull Guardian is just infinitely better going first.
Yeah, the deck is like, its biggest problem in previous formats was that the going first board wasn't enough to fully stop a lot of the really powerful contenders. Right now, a lot of decks, especially like YuGiOh, Malice, are playing much lower to the ground. The end board this deck puts out is very hard to beat.
Yeah, I think so. And anyway, so I'm gonna hopefully be testing this out, and we'll see how we get on with it. We stick with 3 barrier. I think that's pretty standard.
Absolutely.
You're never gonna go less than 3 barrier. We play the 1 blessing, and then we have the 2 prayers. That's it for the archetypal spells, and then we have the 1 radiance as well. Then the radiance, we don't play the bad trap. We just play the radiance, and the radiance, funny enough, comes up a lot to get your Old Man out, and then it's a format where Blue Eyes is playing, so you can also pop the True Light, which is quite
massive.
Nice. Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize this interaction, but if you have the multiple rituals up already, this can come up to simultaneously pop a Spirit Dragon they would have on the field and the True Light, so they can't negate the True Light in grave as well. That came up once or twice.
It's worth mentioning, if you're using it proactively, it can also pop the load, it can pop like the YuGiOh field spell. It does a lot. Yeah,
it does a lot. I could pre-prep down from 3 to 2, and that's just because I have a little bit of a bigger package now going into the other engine I play. But once again, you see this, they have to hit.
Yeah, it's the most powerful Ash bait.
It really is, because if they let this go through, you're guaranteed a ritual on the board, which is incredible. And then if they hit it, you're free to pop off. Then you don't have to worry about the Ash Blossom.
Yeah, it's the best thing to start a turn with, because if you want to follow up with a lower or Diviner, they've already used the Ash.
Yeah. You play your 3 copies of Diviner, that stays the same. You'll never not play 3 Diviner. Diviner is just an incredible normal summon. And most of the time it's just a better normal summon than low. The only reason that it kind of hinders is that it plays into the nib very hard.
This is true, but it is low plus an extra body no matter what happens, which, you know.
Yeah. And then we opt to play the 2 Ava. Now, I know this came back to 3 on the previous list, but I honestly don't think you need to play the 3.
Absolutely not, especially because if you have a low in rotation, you can get this off Diviner as well.
Yeah, and then you also have the 3 Ben 10, which can get it into rotation as well. The Ben 10 is so nice, but if you see this and Ava in the same hand, it equals a 7. Yeah. So it's exact materials for whatever your ritual summon is. So you can save the low effect to be the full material for a different ritual summon.
Not to mention you can use the Ben 10 search and then banish it off the Ava at the same time.
So you always have the live Herald in the hand, the Herald of Orange Light, which I also play 3 of. Thank God this card came back to 3.
Oh
I don't
my
know
God.
why they hit this one in the first place. It was never the issue. And then for the most recent addition to the deck, due to the most recent ban list, we play a Brilliant Fusion and a Gem Knight Garnet.
What a card.
My actual initial reasoning for this was just like, oh, the extra normal summon is very, very nice. But then it came into my mind that you could actually wait till late in the turn to play this, activate this, and then you can drop the Eva to the graveyard and instantly get a Herald of Orange Light into the hand while also getting the extra normal summon as well.
It's also worth mentioning that if they hit your Herald, this can send the Trias.
This can send the Trias, and it will immediately turn on your whole play again. So initially, if they hit your Herald, you're kind of stopped in your tracks. You see this, you just get to play through it even harder, and they kind of hard lose with their hand trap then. Now we're getting back into the kind of non-engine stuff. I played 2 Fawalos. This can literally be any hand trap. I played the 2 Fawalos because specifically in my locals, it makes them panic so much seeing this.
It was also really nice for a deck like this because it kind of thrives on extra hand advantage, with the sort of downside of rituals being that you're losing the material from hand. The extra draws really go a long way.
It really does. And the only reason I'm not playing a third one of this is simply because I kept it at a clean 40. I played the third one, 41, won't really make much of a difference.
It does help for the siding patterns as well.
It does, it really does. And then I play the 1 Mag and 1 Druid, because if your opponent sees a Bestial, you still have the response in it. So at least you get the advantage off a Bestial being dropped.
I also love Mag in any deck where it can access Engine.
Yeah.
So if you lose the dice roll, this can get you your Cerebus.
Yeah. This kind of went hard last year when I played it at Nationals, dropping into Magnum when my opponent would have a Magnum in the mirror match, and then being able to search my Cerebus, and then they just knew they were cooked after that. I played double Thrust and 1 Talent, and then the 1 Call by the Grave to go with it. This being hit to 1, honestly, I don't really care, because it just makes it a new power 1-off spell that you can just grab off the Thrust anyway.
It's also like with Thrust, a lot of the time you're only playing 1 to begin with. Even I saw a lot of people siding a 2nd and 3rd. Now you just have the extra side deck space.
Yeah, so I think for decks like this one anyway, that we have a good bit of room for the non-engine and the extra like little spicy spots, you know. It kind of benefited us anyway, because we don't have to kind of be like going one way or the other. We don't have to try to decide.
There's no opportunity cost to it anymore.
Yeah, it's literally just, oh, we played a 1-off, that's it. But yeah, there's a few options that you would change. Like for example, when I said I'd probably play the pen graph in the spot of one of the Cerebus, I'll try it out anyway, because I think this format and a spell negate is quite nice.
I think it's worth mentioning, like you said, keeping it at clean 40 has its benefits, but this isn't a deck that you should be scared to go up even as far as maybe 45.
No, I've played this deck at 45 multiple times, and honestly, you don't really notice the consistency drop at all, because you have a lot of searches in the deck, especially when because you can up it, then you can have the pre-preps to 3, like you just get so much advantage.
Yeah, 3 pre-prep, 3 diviner, 3 low, even prosp you can afford.
You can play the normal prep.
Yeah, there's really no reason to be too scared of going above if you want to play more.
Yeah, like you'll be fine going above 40. I've played 45 and it's done me wonders. Getting into the extra, we play the 1 Seraphonite. This is the extra normal summon, and does it have another effect? I'm not sure if it does.
No, but just the materials being a Gem Knight and a light.
Yeah, the light is really
beautiful.
Like originally I was just like, oh great, another normal summon, but this requiring any light monster is crazy for this deck.
I've also seen some really cool plays using this with Diviner to go into Synchro 8s.
Yes, that is a thing you can do. I haven't exactly tried that yet, but that's simply because I have an engine that's probably getting sided now, that I like to go into as well, that takes up a lot of extra space. I play the 1 Almirage and the 1 Secure Garden as well. This is pretty much a standard Voiceless Voice line, helps you get to 2.
Invoked, baby.
Yeah, it's just nice. I've been trying my hand at the 1 Cross Sheep as well recently, because if you summon a ritual to its zones.
I've been amazed how many people don't know the ritual effect on this card. It's just Pot of Grid.
Yeah, and because I can have the Seraphonite and the ritual in its zone, I can get a Pot of Greed and a Revive, which is crazy, which is nuts. So I can use my low as the material twice and still get revived off of the Cross Sheep anyway. So it kind of goes a long way then. I play the 1 SP Little Knight and then 2 Dynamondos, and that kind of rounds off our Link 2s. I decided to play the 2 Dynamondos because, funny enough, it comes up a lot in a grind game. It just bounces, and I don't think a lot of people realize that has a bounce effect.
This card is removal.
Yeah.
I've been playing Drytron a bit, and the second one comes up there as well.
Yeah, like it does come up. Like, yeah, the summon back your ritual is nice, but like grind game, this goes crazy. It really does. 1 Chaos Angel, because Trees and Low goes Chaos Angel, and a lot of people still can't out this to this day. It's quite difficult, regardless if it's on 2 lights. Doesn't matter. They still struggle to out this a lot. I played the 1 Garura, 1 Intis, 1 Fergie, the Meriologic, Malong, and then the 2 Herald of Archetypes. And that probably gives away the package that I kind of either side or main, and that is the Dogmatica and Nadir Servant package. I played in the side over here. I don't have a full side built yet for it, because we've kind of had gimmicky locals recently, so I haven't got the full side on me. But the package I usually play is the 3 Nadir Servant and the 1 Dogmatica Maximus for it. And these kind of come up with these because if you're going second, it clears off whatever the board it is, and then if you're going first, it rips 2 from the extra. And it's a hard decision now. It really is a tough decision to make now.
Especially in, like, for example, the Ryziel matchup, now that they only have the 1 detonator, or the Malice matchup where they're only on 1 of the links. It's also worth mentioning just how flexible all of this is. You can play Ultimate Slayer. A lot of these are very valid Metaltronus targets. The Entus makes the Diviner into removal if you need that going second. There's a lot to be said about how flexible these are. Even with the Nadir package, you could play Ecclesia to get punishment if you'd rather the removal trap.
Yeah, that's one thing I was playing originally. I was playing a what's the big knight called?
Fleur-de-lis.
Yeah, Fleur-de-lis. I was playing him, but the initial kind of bad thing I saw about it was he's kind of dead if I draw it.
That is true.
But the Ecclesia, now that I have access to even an extra normal summon, if I was to keep my Breeding Fusion package in and have the Nadir Servant package in, the extra normal summon, I can still summon the Ecclesia and it'll pop off again.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it gives me just an extra bit of removal, because being locked out with the extra for the rest of the turn won't really make a difference once I've already got the Serapha Knight up. But yeah, that kind of concludes that. A little note I'd like to say at the end as well is that I really do think that people are sleeping on this deck in this meta. I was sick of this deck for a good while, but it was actually Sean here who told me, like, look at the deck again, like it kind of goes crazy in this meta, and I couldn't agree more.
Like I was saying, the combination of like the end board just being stronger by comparison than it used to be, and the level of protection that the back row offers.
Yeah.
It's a very, very solid deck. And again, like you were saying, the 3 orange light is a beautiful include.
Yeah, and I think as well, with that extra layer of intricacies with the extra fairy monsters, kind of adds a new dynamic to the deck that you didn't see beforehand, because they don't know where to interrupt it anymore.
100%. I think a big problem people came across with this deck was how sort of linear and inflexible the first turn was, and I think that the Ava package really changes that.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully I can get a new combo video out for it, and might even record a few games at locals for it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.